Here we are for our third session in reading through John's Gospel to consider the life and claims of Jesus. And what we see in John chapter 1 from verse 10 is that the arrival of this word that's so central in John's understanding of God's plan is that he's not well received. We see from verse 10, he was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision, or a husband's will, but born of God. This word that's so central to life being formed is rejected. And we see in verse 10 that it's the world who rejected the word. God's own people, verse 11, reject him. But it's not a universal response. There are some people who didn't reject the word but actually received, some who believed. And for those who did receive, verse 12 gives us a glimpse at the unique and awesome gifts received by those who accept the word. Firstly, we see that they're adopted into his family. Think of being adopted into a royal family or a very prestigious or loving or wealthy family. And what is on offer here is something even grander, because as we saw earlier, the word is actually the source of life. And so in verse 12, this phrase, he gave the right, it means that he's got the absolute authority to invite people into his family. But the question is, what is the right in verse 12 that he has to give? Well, it's this idea in verse 13 of becoming children of God. So the right to become a child of God isn't because you've got religious prestige or because of your family heritage, but it's because somehow you've been born of God in verse 13.